Okay, women's leader. Let's give it to the woman. Women's leader. Okay, all right. Women's leader. Okay, all right, fine. Okay, all right, great. But no, we are not going down the road that you have heard before. Now, this is where we have a problem, as in me in particular. Okay, this is my question. What are the conditions you think need to be present rather, for a female to emerge as the president of Nigeria? Please listen again. What are the conditions you think need to be present for a female to emerge as the president of Nigeria? Now, a few days ago, I think it was on Friday, on Thursday, I was one of those forums, when you're just trying to look for conversations and you're listening to what people are talking about all over the world. And then someone said, an African said, that if you take a look at the female leaders we've had in Africa, many of them have passed their prime biologically. That is, they were mothers who were probably, about to be grandmothers, they were already grandmothers. So it was easier for them. And the person said, it's not a good thing to give a young, vibrant woman the position as the head of government. That is not good. In fact, if you do it, it's going to be terrible. And then under the comments, somebody said, imagine your president or your governor is now taking maternity leave 3 months, 4 months. That place not going to scatter. I was incensed. But I probed a little further. And this is where my dig down the rabbit hole has led me to. Now, the first woman to be elected as Prime Minister of the country was Srimavo Bandaranke of Ceylon, which is present-day Sri Lanka. All right? The first woman to serve as president of a country was Isabel Perón of Argentina. I remember watching the movie about that one. The first democratically elected female prime minister of a Muslim majority country was Benazir Bhutto of Pakistan. I remember this particular lady because when we were doing current affairs back in secondary school, this question or this particular statement was repeated it was drummed in our ears. But this is where it gets interesting. You see, Bhutto was also the first of only 2 non-hereditary female world leaders who gave birth to a child while serving in office. The other being Jacinda Ardern of New Zealand a few years ago. She gave birth and she was still the leader of the government. Now, the same thing has been asked about America. America is talking about progress, yet they will not elect a female leader. That's what some people said. Well, we almost had one in the person of Hillary Clinton. That's still debatable. But let me shock you, ladies and gentlemen, for some of you who feel that a female cannot and maybe should not be the president of Nigeria. Let me shock you. You see, some of you have heard of Texas in the US, all right? Texas is a pretty big state. Texas is almost as large in terms of size, geographical size. It's almost as large as Nigeria. And a certain Ann Richards, born 1933 and passed away in 2006, was governor of Texas. She was governor. She had 1 term. But she was governor of the state of Texas. January 17th, 1995. 1995. She was in charge of a region almost as large as Nigeria. And you believe that a woman cannot be president in this country? So let's say a woman is not, or rather cannot. My question, and I'll open the phone lines right now, is this: what are the conditions that you think must be ready or must be available before a woman can become president of this country? Does her biology come into play? Like someone stated, so you want your president to go on maternity leave. Otio, really? You trust a woman to handle your affairs at home, but you're afraid of a woman becoming the head of a government?
The views and opinions shared on this program do not represent the position of Nigeria Info FM. Nigeria Info, let's talk.
Hello, Port Harcourt, with Jude on 92.3 Nigeria Info.
So 017-923-0007, 0817923-0003, 0817923-0007, and 0817923-0003 at Nigeria Info PH. At Nigeria Info PH is where you'll find us on Facebook and on X at Nigeria Info PH is where you find us on Facebook and on X. Now, once again, my question is this: what are the conditions you think should be available for a female to be president of Nigeria? And does her biology really matter? So we talk about female leaders this morning. Like I said, what got us here is a comment that someone made mention that, if a woman becomes governor, if a woman becomes president, what if she now is pregnant and now gives birth? Are you saying for 3 months she'll be away and all of us will be looking for a governor or president? Is that really the problem here? Is that really, honestly, the problem? WhatsApp 0809-030-6416, 0809-030-6416. That's where you find us. And straight off the bat, Jane is asking the same question. Jude, please help me ask them, what exactly have women done to deserve this kind of criticism? So women can't give birth and still be head of a country. Women give birth and still go to work. Women give birth and still manage businesses that even their husbands are feeding from. Why then is this such a big deal? Jane, your question is as good as mine. Joe is in Thai. Joe, good morning to you. And we have Zion in GRA. Go on, Joe.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning. Go on. Welcome to Hello Port Harcourt.
Thank you so much. You see, one thing is that our belief system, because we have refused to do what is right. If you look at the world today, there's advocacy for gender equality. It is because they know that the women implement policy to the left. And that if a woman is made the president of this country, every other evil and us against humanity will be unfolded. If not, some women are capable more than men. So it is just that maybe we are a politically developing economy and we have refused to buy this positive idea that women can even do better. So, well, thank you.
All right. Joe, thank you very much. Okay. Hello. Okay, that's Zion from GRA. Drop call scenario. Zion, please, you can call back and let's have a conversation. Once again, if you just join us, I'm asking, what do you think should be available? What are the conditions to guarantee that a woman would become the president of Nigeria sometime in the future? I would like to have this happen in my lifetime. So, like say, in another 50 plus years, health being favorable, I would like to see that. But 50 years, don't you think it's even too long? Now, the same case was made when Hillary Rodham Clinton ran for presidency, against whom, Donald J.D. Trump. Remember that battle? At one point, Hillary was winning the opinion polls, and then suddenly something happened. But the point I'm making here is, if a woman can be governor of Texas is as big as Nigeria, why can't a woman, for heaven's sakes, be president? 92.3, good morning. Hello, Port Harcourt. Good morning.
Good morning once again. Jude, how many women are literate, are knowledgeable, are enlightened like that former Texas governor? How many? The ones are you trying to say these ones are self-planting at the other side, or the one that off Puerto Rico at Mukuro market? How many are educated.
But what about the local government chairman and the CDC chairman that you all vote for? Are they as educated as the woman who sells plantain and periwinkle? Let's be very honest. Many of the in quotes the mechanisms for political parties, are they educated? That's the big question. Are they? Let's go on a break. When we come back, more messages. I'm seeing messages now. When we come back, we'll get to address this issue this morning. What exactly do you think should be available in Nigeria to ensure that a female emerges as the president of this country one day?
Stay with us. Nigeria Info. We'll be back.
More conversations, but let me get you read some comments that have come through on our WhatsApp platform. 0809-030-6416 0809-030-6416. Jude, like it or not, women have been ruling Nigeria 70% indirectly. A woman's influence made Rivers State to have a governor when her husband was a president. The way the male president behave are 92% influenced by the women, wives, sisters, aunties, schoolmates in their lives. We vote for men, but it is women that are in charge. Even if we vote for women, the situation we find ourselves will not change. Now the same mentality. Interesting comment. All right, next one here says, hello, Jude. Good morning. I think nothing much has to be considered before making a woman president of Nigeria, other than the fact that she contested for and won elections. On the issue of her biology and maternity leave, we have had presidents in this same Nigeria that have gone on medical leaves for up to 3 months and the country did not fall apart. So this issue of maternity leave does not count, Mrs. Jerry from Rumo. I was very impressed when I read that message. Hey, so you mean say if you're president, I be your governor, nah woman, she can't get belle cambo. You mean say for 4 months, no not go see him again? Zion, it's in Jerry. Zion, good morning to you.
Thank you very much. The truth is, there is no criteria. The only democratic processes prepare yourself, build your political structure, contest your election. That is all. Stop women not to vie for that office. Our women are not serious.
Interesting.
They are not even interested. We are just forcing them into what they don't want. It's due influence.
Okay, so you are saying the average Nigerian. I have to go on the news break. But Zion, let me hear you quickly. Are you saying the average Nigerian woman is not interested in politics?
Apart from the Aba riot women of 1929, mention another women movement that you have seen in Nigeria. Till today, mention one.
Riots of the 1920s, please do so. It's one of the most amazing stories in Nigerian history where a group of women decided to rise up against what they felt was exploitation, undue exploitation, despite them obeying law and order. It led to the reformation of what is going on till today, talking about the way the women at marketplaces carry out their businesses. Once again, please do well, do some reading. We're back after the headline news. Important and very interesting name some of you may or may not have heard before, but they all have to do with leaders, and they are leaders in their own right. Now, Indira Gandhi, how many of you heard that name? Yes, she was Prime Minister of 1969. Margaret Thatcher, also an lady, she was Prime Minister for 11 years. 208 names I'm going to make mention of. Edith Cresson of France, Prime Minister, 1991. Yes, indeed. You remember that one? Yes, you should. And then we have, obviously, one of the most popular leaders in the last century on the European continent, Angela Merkel, Germany's Chancellor. She was Chancellor for 16 years, head of government. And many people will tell you that she was probably one of the most respected leaders in Liberia, in Africa. And then we also have Claire Simpson of Jamaica. She was Prime Minister. All this on and on and on. was their question. What will happen if she gives birth? Some argue that many of them were done with birthing children, and that's why they were able to run for the post of the president or the prime minister. But Bhutto did it. She had a child. Not only did she do it, it got to the point there was a debate about her coming to the house with her baby and breastfeeding at work. How does that affect the work she's able to do? Maybe it does. I don't know.
Views and opinions shared on this Nigeria FM. Nigeria, let's talk.
So 017-923-0007, 0817-923-0003. Join me as I ask. We're trying to find out what exactly needs to happen in Nigeria before a female can emerge as president. If a female can be governor of a state as large as Nigeria, talking about the state of Texas in the United States, what exactly is the thing here? Now, my previous caller, Zion, made mention that there's nothing. Just prepare your political structure, right? Win your primaries, and who knows, you could win. But he says, I'm not interested. You don't want to be heads of government. Do you agree? Is that the case here? Is that the difference? Is that the peculiarity between Nigeria and Liberia and New Zealand and India? I don't know. You tell me. All right? Let's get to hear from you. As always, please do turn down the volume of your radio set. Refrain from making derogatory or defamatory comments. And please do not make unsubstantiated and unverified claims. Now, we have a message here. This from an anonymous. It says, Rotimi Akeredolu died in office, and that's a permanent situation, unlike pregnancy and maternity leave. Was his deputy not waiting in the wings? All the times that male presidents of Nigeria have been flown abroad for medical treatment, has the country been any worse than it already is? When Yaradua, a man, died in office, didn't his deputy take over? The truth, Jude, is the same thing that's wrong with podcasting space in Nigeria today. Those who have nothing sensible or helpful to say are taking up space because sensible, capable people can't be bothered or are suffering imposter syndrome. Wow. Interesting. Interesting comment there. Muriel is not cricket. Muriel, good morning to you, please.
Thank you. Good morning.
Good morning.
Well, I kind of agree with Mr. Zion that so many women are not interested. And it has made politicians to see them as maybe God when it comes to political affairs. They are not smart enough to handle this. And that's why when they give them positions, when they hand some positions over to them, they give them the small ones, and they most likely give it to the wrong women, so that these wrong women will continue to fail. Most times, maybe to their sidekicks, and
wow.
They know that this
that's a very strong allegation, Muriel.
Yes. So maybe look, how many reasons, but they know that this woman they are giving this position cannot handle it. They know that she will fail eventually. One or two things will come up, but they will give it to her so that they will continue to create this notion that women cannot handle positions. And this is exactly what is happening with Betta Edu. Now, what happens? You see that women like Okonjo-Iweala, they will avoid a woman like that because they know that all of them put together, they cannot even stand her. You know? When they see smart and intelligent woman that can do this job, no, they don't want you to come close to them. Just carefully observe. Yes. They will not follow the men at there. We believe that women are supposed to be subservient to the man. They're supposed to be submissive. Trust me, Jude, 95% of men believe that a woman is supposed to be under a man. In fact, before she takes any position, if her husband, she must take permission from her husband. If he doesn't, then she should not. Meanwhile, after her father has trained her, spent a lot of money, trained her, and her father sees that his daughter can do this because she got married to all of a sudden, she cannot be what she aspires as to family.
right now because of the last statement you made. Now, Muriel, let's assume, all right, that I have the ear of the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, and Bola Ahmed Tinubu calls me and says, Jude, suggest a woman that will come and handle this sensitive position in Abuja for me. And I say, Muriel, I choose you. I nominate you. And Tinubu says, Madam Muriel, come to Abuja immediately. Start work next week. Would you seek permission from your husband?
Discussing most times does not really mean seeking permission. There is somehow, except you're not married, you sit down and you discuss.
Okay.
Trust me, Jude, there are some men that will accept and some will not accept. But a man that will not accept his wife to get to that level, that will even affect it positively and will even showcase it. Trust me, jealousy is in the line. Jealousy is there. There are some men that, out of jealousy, they don't even want the head of their wife to surface. They know that they marry smart women.
Yes.
But they believe that. Do you know that there are some men that don't even want their wife to have a PhD degree? I've heard and I've seen. Yes. So some men will not agree. But trust me, Jude, if as a woman you have good intention and your husband refuse, and you know that you can make a positive impact that will even affect him affect the future of your children. Trust me, Jude.
You
Marriage
take it.
is good, very good. All is very good, but do everything possible to ensure that your husband allows.
Okay. All right. Zion is back, and we have Okonkwo Rumukuta standing by. Zion, go on, please.
Yeah. Sorry, just to conclude my thought.
Yes, please. Yes, please.
This issue of 1 Corinthians chapter 14 was a problem towards a certain time. We said that women should be quiet in the church. Women were forced to keep quiet. But when they take interest, I must get my own ministry. I must get my own church. Are women not having church today, Port Harcourt?
Interesting.
Most ministries are only owned by women. In Port Harcourt today, mention one female socialite here in Port Harcourt. Just one. They are not interested. You cannot force them.
Okay.
The truth is that they even have influence more than we the men. A woman can go to anywhere and conquer the ground. You know why? Because from the beginning, she's a troublemaker. As in, guys will begin to like her. See, I won't contest as a governor, one that work for me. Before you know now, one or two friends will begin working around her. She have the cutting edge, but for we as men, boy, you have to penetrate too. You go drop one or two things, say you come to go tell them something or not. If our women know the power they have, if without boundaries they can now have in churches and now nobody's quoting that verse again, women should keep quiet in church. Are you hearing that kind of thing again? Because there are churches everywhere owned by women. And most of us, we are so hypocritical. We only come on radio to shout them, but in our houses, women are keeping quiet. It's only on radio. Oh, women are gender equality. In your family, are you practicing it?
Good question. Okonkwo from Rumukuta, thank you for your patience and welcome to Hello Port Harcourt.
Thank you, brother Jim.
Good morning, please.
How are you?
Very well, thank you for joining us, please.
Directly to our subject. Women do not lack anything to become a president.
In this country.
There are many women that are educational professors. There are many women that are academic and educational doctors. Academic doctors. So, in terms of international demonstration, they are qualified. But within the content of this project, we are not looking at it in the area of intellectual demonstration of power. But we are looking at it from the emotional angle. And Brother Jude, if our political system, we have to be a peaceful political system. It will not take anything for many women to become president in this country. And you know the nature of women. They are not to destroy property or destroy life in order to assume any position in life because they are mothers.
I see.
Finally, if it has to be that our election system is election system that goes stand, let me tell you that women would have been taking every presidential position by every political transition in this country. But the issue is that our system is a system in which elections are rigged. We have Queen Elizabeth and many other advanced countries that women are president. And the reason is because their system is a transparent system. But here, unfortunately, we have intransparent system. So that is why it is difficult. If we can stand on political realities, if we can stand on political justice and equity, women will take over this country. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Okonkwo from Rumukuta. Now, that bit about violence, I think I agree with him because remember last year during the elections, prior to the elections, when there were sensitizations going around, it was made mention that, the threat and the fear of violence, reprisal attacks or whatnot, intimidation, was probably one of the reasons why a lot of women were not actively participating in the political, process in Nigeria, in the local government and in the state government. And I remember there was a very funny drama that unfurled was that Kogi State? Yeah, Kogi State, when one road was what's the term? Was cut off prior to an election. And one of the aspirants, who is female, was vocal, was like, no, this thing was done to sabotage people who were probably going to go to the village to vote, where she felt she had a very good popularity, where a popularity poll was, in its positive, it was done. And this was left, right, and our Facebook and X, Nigeria Info page at Nigeria Info PH on Facebook and on X is where you'll find us. Let's quickly get to X this morning. Once again, if you're trying to call us on the telephone, please use 0817-923-0003. 0817-923-0007. 0817-923-0003. or 0817-923-0007. Awat Asukwa on X says, okay, we are ready. Women leaders, we are ready. All right, so if you're ready, Asukwa, what are you doing? Or what do you think needs to be done to help? Is there something that maybe the females are not quite, getting right? What exactly? Asuko, that's Asuko, by the way, on X. And let's switch to Facebook now. Braided Me on Facebook says, we should know that women are perfectionists and they always want things to be done perfectly. Well, at least most of them. Well, I believe that if they are given the chance to rule a nation like this one, I think it will be an era like we have never seen. So, in short, women have as much right as men to rule this nation, my own view. To the person who said women are petty traders, please note, we also have male petty traders. Now, if a woman is to rule this country, she should definitely have the characteristics of a mother, not a slave queen. Braided Me with that comment. She should have the characteristics of a mother, not a slave queen. Perception. Let me look at some of these individuals, females that I've made mention of. Some of them are very fashionable, and I mean very fashionable. Dilma Rousseff, former Brazilian president. Oh, she was a fashionable woman, right? Yingluck Shinawatra of Thailand, former prime minister. She too was a very fashionable woman. And I mean, very fashionable. And then who can forget in a hurry, please? Who can forget the former head of government of Croatia? Remember during the World Cup when she came out, when Croatia, turned up to be the runners-up. Remember, and everyone was like, "Who is this woman?" She was fine, not just fine. She was fine. So you can be good-looking, well-dressed, have a great sense of style, command a great, aura around you, and still be president, still be prime minister. Let's not even kid ourselves. During that World Cup, I think the woman, I'm trying to get her name now, racked up more views, more trends, more interactions, more engagement than even the Croatian national team. If we are honest, if we want to be really honest, please, let's say it as we, those of us who followed that World Cup. She was beautiful. Let's move on. Let's wrap up this morning. We have just about a minute to go on the program. I'll read some messages. 08064 months. Like I said, that women who are practically chosen by men are impotent. That's right. Should be even to the black she had out the she had been suspended from. But she wasn't by men. Things should be said acted. Age, religion, tone, heavily edited photos, etc. Interesting. Okay, now on this context, two factors are to be taken into consideration. One is the point that those societies you cited have long existed for centuries. Are you saying with my way of general leadership over men is a bad movement? It's compelled to speak pro anticipation in whatever spheres in them fair. Maybe that Nigeria we are looking for is going to be headed and spearheaded by women. My name is Jude. Good morning.
Nigeria Info.